How's it going? I got beef nachos. It's supposed to be just beef and cheese, but there's somehow a tomato, a pepper, I don't know, something green. So I haven't been uploading videos as consistently lately, and I apologize for that. I've been pretty uninspired and quite frankly depressed. I've been trying to hang out with friends more often, and it always falls through. Got a new piercing to try to cope with it. I wanted an eyebrow piercing, but I went to 3 separate piercers, and they told me I don't have the anatomy for an eyebrow piercing. It sucks being told that you have a flat-ass forehead. As you can see, today's video is another story time. Got my little gargoyle here, keeping watch. This saga begins in the summer of 2025. So I work at a mall, and we have like a mall employee entrance that's kind of near like the loading bays. And I'm walking up to the store, and as I go to open it, a mall security guard opens it first, and he holds the door for me. I'm wearing like this matching blue jogging set, and the security guard looks me up and down, and he's like, "I love that color blue on you." And I'm just like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good rest of your day." That's literally all it was. So I go on about my day, thinking nothing of it. So we don't interact again until October. It's around Halloween time. Our mall does this trick-or-treating event for like families to come through, and they stop at every store and they pick up candy from someone who's handing it out in front of each individual store. Now, mall security is the one that provides the stores with the candy. They tell everyone, give the kids 1 piece each so all the guests can get some. I picked up like a 2-hour shift literally just to stand outside of our store and hand out candy. The security guard from the summer who complimented my outfit comes up to me at the door, and he asks for some candy. Now, he's not in his security uniform, and he's also not in a costume, so I'm kind of confused as to what he's doing, because if you're a security guard, you need to be in uniform so you can be like an obvious beacon to help people. And if you're not working and you're just here on your day off, why? And I'm hesitating because I'm like, is this like some kind of like covert operation by the mall security? I don't know. They seemed like they were pretty strict on their 1 candy per person policy. Like, I'm not trying to get caught up in some candy deal. I give him some. He walks away. Then he comes by a second time, a little later. I'm just like, oh, like no costume, no bag, no service. Just trying to like crack a joke because he's not wearing a costume. He doesn't have a trick-or-treating bag. He's just like walking around. He just kind of stares at me. And he like doesn't know how to answer. So I give him some, and he puts it in his pocket, and he walks away again. Then he comes back in after the event is over and we're trying to close the store, close up the mall, whatever. And he comes under our gate and he asks for more candy. We don't have any candy. We gave the bucket back to security, and he is like trying to make small talk, standing there just trying to like elongate the conversation. But I'm just kind of like, okay, well, we're closing for the night. I'll see you around. That's 3 times in a span of like 2 hours that he's come by to talk to me. First few days of November. We had just gotten stuff stolen from us. The security guard walks in to the store, and he comes right up to me, and he asks, "Do you have a trash can?" Now, during this entire event of us getting stolen from, he's standing there right outside of our store and talking to like this fragrance vendor that put his little kiosk outside of our store, and there's a trash can right there. He avoided that trash can to come into my store and ask, "Do you have a trash can?" I'm like, yeah. So I pick up the tiny trash can from under the register, and he goes, "I found this." And he puts like a giant rock in it. He says "Wouldn't want anyone to get stoned, son." An hour later, he comes back, and he holds up another rock, and he just goes like, "For you." Then he makes the same joke again. "Wouldn't want anyone to get stoned." So I say, "Yeah, that would be bad publicity for an already dying mall, wouldn't it?" And he just stares at me. As soon as I crack a joke, his brain just short circuits. Why are you bringing me rocks? Are we penguins? Are you genuinely finding rocks on the floor and then bringing them to me, thinking that's gonna win me over like I'm some kind of flightless bird? And I ask him, where are you finding these? And he's like, "I don't know, I just found them in the mall. Kids must have brought them in from outside or something." Okay. And then when he walks away, I go throw the rock in the garbage. A few days later, I'm in the front of our store with my back turned to the entrance, and I'm folding some pants that are on like the launch table. And he comes up behind me, and he's just like, "I'm proud to announce that the mall is rock free today." Hello to you too? And I'm just like, wow, you're such a hero. You're the mall militia. And he's like, "Mall militia Mike. That's amazing. I'm gonna put that on my grave. And who are you?" And I'm like, I'm the Victoria's Secret vulture, Vanessa. I find the dead bodies at Victoria's Secret. Trying to be off-putting, and he doesn't get the memo. And he's just like, well, I'll make sure to die inside your store so you can find my body. You're good at cleaning up. Now, his name isn't actually Mike, obviously. I just dubbed him as Mike for the story because of, like, Mike the security guard from FNAF. He's just like, I have to be here till 11 tonight. What do you even do until 11 o'clock? Like, the mall's closed at 8. Well, I'm supposed to sit in the security room and watch the cameras, but really I just take the security vehicle and drive around and play games on my phone. Y'all just hire anybody, huh? My 14-year-old brother needs a job, so hit him up. So I'm like, oh, well, if you play games on your phone, you should download Five Nights at Freddy's and play it inside the security room with all the cameras around you so you can feel like the ambiance, you know? Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's is scary. No, it's not. No, like it was when I was younger, but like it's not anymore. Then I get called up to the register, so I finally have an escape from this conversation. The second week in November, he sees me in the front of the store and he takes this as his cue to walk in. And that's what he does, is he like paces back and forth until he makes eye contact with me and then takes that as his cue to walk into the store and say some bullshit to me. He says, "Is it gay for boys to shop at Victoria's Secret?" No, like if they have a girlfriend and they're shopping for their girlfriend, then obviously, like, yeah, you're right. What if, like, they bought a thong? You're so funny. Like, oh my God. Like, I love when boys come in my store and joke about underwear and ask if they can try on a bra. It cracks me up every time. And my store manager goes, "Vanessa, I think he likes you. He doesn't come into the store and talk to anybody but you." Oh, you think? Later that night, one of our regulars comes in. This regular would tend to approach the employees and trap them in really long conversations. I'm at the register and she has this bra that she wants to buy and she doesn't have enough money on her card, and she proceeds to tell me all about how her husband gives her a budget, whatever. I'm like, why don't you just ask him for a little bit more money, like the bra's on sale? So she's like, you're right. So she calls him, she puts him on speaker, and she pushes the phone towards me and she's like, you tell him. She would literally come in the mall and play the piano like all day. Like, I don't think she had a job. I think her husband would genuinely just drop her off at the mall like a daycare, and she would go around and harass all the employees in the stores to the point where she literally got banned from Claire's. And she admitted that to us. She makes me take her phone number. Then she makes fun of me stuttering in the middle of a sentence because I talk really fast, obviously, and sometimes I trip over my words. And she started laughing and she pointed it out. That's not necessary, that's rude. And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I just have ADHD. Like, I don't know. Like, I just say everything that comes to my mind. I'm like, you need to go get medicated for that or stop bringing it up. Next Monday, I see the security guard walking past our store, and I actually beckoned him in this time. I'm like, hey, I need to tell you about this customer. She's harassing people in our store. She's going to other stores in the mall. There's already been complaints about her. Like, is there anything you can do? And he's just like, yeah, she's on our radar. I'll keep my eye out. He comes back a second time later. He says, oh, I finally saved up enough money to buy Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, saved up? Isn't it like $3.99 in the App Store? Well, yeah, but I don't make that much money. When they hired me, they said I would make $13 an hour and I would never get a raise. When has the promise of financial distress ever enticed a woman? Ever in the history of ever. He asks what time I work the next day. He somehow finds a way to make the joke about the dead body again. Oh, sorry. My manager's on her way. I'm gonna get in trouble if I spend too much time talking to you. Gotta go. He comes in a third time that night, sneaks up behind me again as I'm doing an AP report for another theft that just occurred while he was too busy standing outside the store talking to the fragrance vendor instead of doing his job. I'm talking on the headset to the manager on duty about like what I found, and he's just standing there in the corner of my eye like, are you busy? Am I interrupting something? I'm just like, yes, I'm filling out an AP report because we just got robbed. And walk away. The next Monday, I'm the closing manager. And he's walking back and forth past the door my whole shift like he always does. And I'm just avoiding the entrance because I don't want to deal with it. Right before I close the gate, he just so happens to walk by and says goodnight to me as I'm closing the gate. I'm like, thanks. Then as I'm doing the closing paperwork with my coworkers, filling out like the deposit slip and stuff, our gate is clear. And I can see him walking back and forth in front of it, like looking in to see like what we're doing. Once we get our stuff and we leave, we go out towards like the mall employee doors, and he's waiting there to say goodnight again. By the end of November, like I said, I'm completely avoiding the entrance of the store. My coworkers know about the situation. One of them told me he walked past our store 7 times in 10 minutes looking for me. This same evening, I'm the closing manager again. We get out and my coworker goes, Vanessa, he's coming. And I look out of the corner of my eye and he's coming like from JCPenney, like looping around trying to approach us. And he's wearing shorts at the end of November. So I'm sitting there, I'm like fumbling with my keys. I'm like dropping stuff. I'm trying to lock the door as fast as I can. So I stand up and we start walking away. And he's like, oh, you left your little display outside of the store. It's like, oh, it's fine. No one's going to steal it. We keep walking. Like we're facing the exit, walking away from him, and he's talking at us. He's like, yeah, I'm out of dress code right now. I spilled water on my pants, so I had to change into shorts. I literally go, oh, I would hate if that was me. And we keep walking. We thought we lost him, but we hear footsteps behind us and we turn around. There's no one there. We get to the exit and we start walking into the parking lot. I'm about 10 feet from my car and I turn around and I see that Mike had followed us all the way through the mall and out of the employee exit and tried to play it off by like walking to the abandoned Sears next door and like smoking a cigarette. So now he knows exactly where I park my car and what car I drive. I'm closing again. Yes, I was closing a lot of nights during the holidays. Mike walks up to me, and before he can even say anything, I'm like, you're coming in here and not buying anything just to ruin my conversion. And I just walk away. Then, of course, that night, he's waiting by the gate to say goodnight again. He's always either walking back and forth so he can catch me as I'm closing the gate so he can like look under it and say goodnight, or he's waiting by the employee exit to catch all of us walking out to our cars so he can say goodnight there, or sometimes both. In early December, I decide to report the situation to Mike's boss, like the head security guard lady. We'll call her Amber. I give her a very, very brief rundown of the things that have happened, and she refers to it as stalking herself. That's why I refer to it reluctantly as stalking. She tells me that he has done this kind of thing before, doesn't elaborate, but says that he will be banished from patrolling our side of the mall, and that if he comes by our gate one more time to tell her, and he'll be fired. He's already done this kind of thing before and been talked to about it. Why didn't you just fire him then? A few weeks later, he picks up the habit again. This is where the story gets really juicy. In February, I post a TikTok detailing all the information that's happened up to that point. And I'm very vague. I don't say what mall I work at, what city I'm in. I don't give any physical description of Mike. The video only has 2,000 views, and I get this DM from this girl asking if I work at so-and-so mall. And she basically explains to me that she thinks the same security guard has been harassing her. Apparently, he does this at all of the stores in the mall that are predominantly employed by women. I ask, is it Mike? Like, does he look like this? And she's like, yes, that's him. And I'm like, will you please report it to Amber? A week goes by. I'm like, hey, did you get a chance? She says no. 2 weeks go by, still nothing. So I flag down Amber the next time I work. I'm like, hey, so what's going on with Mike? She's like, things are in the works. Just straight nothing burger. Again, like no condiments, not even a bun, like just nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, I got a message from a girl who works at another store downstairs, and she told me that she's experiencing the same issue. So I think something needs to be done with a quickness. Amber comes back to collect my statement, and I'm talking about it with my manager. She's like, well, we can get our asset protection involved in this too. And the burden shouldn't be on our employee to try to prove to you that she's being harassed. We'll pull up the camera footage if we have to. And then Amber goes, oh yeah, we have camera footage. And we're like, what? She tells us that she's seen him on the mall cameras, walking around, not doing his job, down the hall with a random girl while he's on the clock, like one-on-one with her. She didn't say what happened in the footage, but she says that he doesn't drive the patrol car around at night. He drives his personal car around the parking lot. Well, if you have already been made aware of this situation, what is the holdup? And she says, well, we can't fire him until we find someone to replace him. Y'all would literally hire my cat as a security guard, and you're telling me you cannot find a single other person willing to work this job? If I was a business manager and I had a creep amongst my employees, I would fire him immediately and just take the hit of being short-staffed for a little while. I don't know, is that not common sense? My store manager then says, well, why don't you guys just cross-train the maintenance people in the mall to also be security guards? And Amber goes, well, they're too aggressive, because one time they made a joke in the headset about beating up a customer. I feel safer with whoever said that than Mike. So that day, I'm so angry that I walk over to Francesca's. It's the last day that they're open because their store is closing in our mall. Because like I said, it's a dying mall. So I go over there, I'm like, hey, kind of a weird question. Have any of you guys ever had a weird encounter with Mike, the security guard? One of the girls goes, you know what, actually? One of our coworkers did have a weird experience with him. And the crazy thing is, they already knew him by name. I didn't even have to explain what he looked like. They already knew him by name, which means that he frequented their store, which was also run by all women. I forgot to mention, he also was seen sitting at tables with random women in the mall too, like shoppers. They were sitting down eating like Auntie Anne's or something, like he would just go sit at their table and talk at them. Also, after that time when he followed us outside, he parked by me a few times. March 3rd rolls around. Amber comes in to tell me that she did get a written formal statement from the girl that I spoke with on TikTok. There's so many opportunities along the way in which you could have fired him and made us feel safer, and you made the wrong choice every single time. On March 23rd, my coworker tells me that a few years ago, an ex-employee of Victoria's Secret who lived in the same apartment complex as Amber saw Amber bringing home one of her co-security guards that she hired. Amber was sleeping with one of the other security guards. The optics are horrible. She has not come to speak with me ever since early March. It's mid-May now. She told me that all she had to do was find a replacement for him, and I've seen at least 2 or 3 new security guards be hired at that mall, yet Mike is still working there. If you have camera proof of him harassing people, what more reason do you need to fire him? And if you were worried about him suing you for wrongful termination, you have so much evidence that his attorney would probably switch up on him in court. Oh. Sorry there's not a satisfying ending. I might make a follow-up in the future if this ever gets dealt with, but based on the way it's been handled thus far, I don't think it's going to. On a real note though, women often feel like they have to be nice to the weird guys. And I know that sounds harsh, but in the age of mass shootings and incels, women are often polite to the awkward and lonely guy as like a preemptive de-escalation tactic. In order to avoid danger, we have to be as unassuming as possible, as easy to digest as possible. But sometimes that very behavior is what attracts the danger to you. These guys will latch onto any amount of female attention they can get, and they misinterpret it. They put the woman on a pedestal, and as soon as she does something that goes off the script of their fantasy, or she rejects them in any way, they turn on her. I know that my situation could have been way more extreme, but I feel like it's kind of like the honeymoon stage of stalking, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna trademark that. It's the beginning phase of like stalking and repeated harassment, where a man just wants to pursue you and follow you around like a little puppy. And before the stage where he finds out you're not interested, or he finds out you're already taken, or whatever. And then when things turn sour, they get violent, and that's when people end up breaking into your home and killing you in your sleep because they feel entitled to you. You're bitchy if you tell people no. If you're too nice, you're asking for it. It's like you just can't win. In every stalking case I've ever watched or read about, the woman always regrets being polite, which is such an unfortunate thing to regret, because everyone should be kind to strangers. But if you're kind to the wrong stranger, your life could take a turn for the worse. Unfortunately, most of the time, if you report being harassed to any degree, it's rare that anything gets done. The burden of protection falls on the victim. I'm not gonna sit here and say be mean to every stranger, because that will get you in a whole other kind of violent conflict. If your gut is sending you signals, turn on that Bluetooth and listen. Just stay safe out there, you guys, everyone, not just women. People are crazy these days. Keep your wits about you and speak up. If you have any similar experiences, comment them down below. I'd love to read them. Tell me how you navigated your situation. Hopefully my storytelling skills will have brightened your day, even just the tiniest bit. That's what I'm here for. I hope after you watch any of my videos, you have a great day, night, morning, evening, whenever you may be watching, and I hope you tune in for the next ones. Bye.